glory in myself to be with you today on this very significant occasion. 35 years is a long time. I was only 4 years old when we started. But it is really nice to be with you now. And I think last night there were greetings from Pastor Peter Moore, but I was also under some obligation to bring you greetings from him as well. As many of you would know, I think Peter serves as Director of Operations in my office in Indianapolis. And so on behalf of Peter, I bring you very warm greetings. As the pastor told you, I'm now responsible for Global Partners of Wesleyan Church, which has been traveling a fair bit internationally, and I actually got in Halifax about midnight last night, but I left Beijing, China yesterday morning. That's kind of a long day, and during the week there, you're out and about, and you understand the attempts of any country you visit, this is true, happened through this week in China. People are attempting to translate instructions they need to give you back into English. And the English doesn't always translate really well, and the communication gets fouled up somewhat. I was walking through the grounds of the Imperial Palace this week, and this sign was on the corner of the lawn. This was the English sign. Grass blue, B-L-U-E. It was spelled, grass blue under the foot is forgiving. So whatever you think that meant, if you get that figured out, let me know. Grass blue under the foot is forgiving. I remember praying on the land over here. I saw that picture. You see that nice checkered gray coat I had on? It must have been popular once upon a time. But yes, that was me with the brown hair. No other comments necessary. I still have my hair. At least I still have some of it. We met at the Mount River School. We held some services down here in the Cold Harbor United Church. When we were kind of in between buildings, and they were very gracious. And we met down here at the Cold Harbor United Church some. We met over in the Evangel Temple when it wasn't here. It was over on the hill up on the top of the Micmac Circle over there. Jim Ettinger was the pastor. We met some over there. And one Sunday, one time here, a little special deal. We had over 600 people here for this special event. Yeah, we had the world's longest hot dog here. This is, that's all kind of the era of the 70s. Everybody's into that kind of stuff. We actually got Hillside Wesleyan Churches in the Guinness World Book of Records. One edition. Having the world's longest hot dog. I discovered you can get a hot dog 103 feet long. Victory Meat Packers in Frederick could make a hot dog 103 feet long without cutting it off. That was their extreme limit. So we got to get the thing set it down there, just like a rubber, just like a garden hose ride in a bus. Hot dog, right? If you're going to have this hot dog, you got to get hot dog buns to put it in. You're going to have it. We had it. Now we're going to eat today. All spread around the perimeter of the room. 100-foot hot dog. So what are you going to do? You're going to get a whole bunch of these little buns about like this? I contacted some bakery over in Spring Garden Road, and they could make hot dog style buns, like submarine sandwich buns, 5 feet long. I said, good, I'll take 25 of them. The guy thought I was bringing out of my tree. We got it ready. We're going to go over Saturday morning or Friday night, maybe, which we're going to pick them up. And CK Chitty was working here then. So CK and I go over and pick these up, and we get in there. Well, there they are on the table, these big long hot dog sandwich buns kind of thing. If you try to pick them up, him on one end and me on the other, they're going to break in the middle. So what are you going to do with this? So the guy went and got 2 clean garbage bags that had not been used, slipped them over either end of this thing, and then strapped it with masking tape. So you know what it looked like this? It looked like a short, dead dude. That's what it was. We picked that mess up, and that was the car. We're all feeling kind of sick and feeling kind of frivolous. And when we opened the door of the car, we said, careful, don't bang his head. So we're kind of enjoying the deal. We get back and we're here, we're unloading it, and I get this telephone call. Gave my name. Is that your name? Yes, it is. You have your license number 355540? Yes, it is. This is Halifax Police Department. I said, yes, sir. He said, we had a report that would appear to be a dead body. He said, did you confirm that? So then I told him the truth. I said, we got this 100-foot hot dog there. He would have believed a dead body more quickly. And he actually came over. He said, I'm not going to put this report without seeing it. He came over, looked at these hot dog buns, and looked at that hot dog, and I never heard from him after that. It was surviving, get this kind of interesting. And then for some of you old-timers around, then there was the famous baptism story here. That was quite a deal. We had baptisms at night up here in the baptistry, right up there, Sunday night school, and we did that deal. And the way this thing worked then, if you turned on the hot and cold water tap and left them running, just left them running, 700 gallons to fill that. In about 4 hours or so, it would fill. So on a particular Sunday, turned those things on, went home, and had Sunday dinner, and then had the afternoon nap on Sunday. I grew up, must believe, must be in the Bible. I had to do that. As a child, though, the thing I never could figure out was when my parents get tired, I had to lay down. Anyhow, I had to come back up. When you walk in the back door there, you should be able to hear the sound of water rushing, like water rushing in the bathtub. Walked in the back door and couldn't hear her. Maybe a trip. I got there as quickly as I could. There's about 2 inches of water in the bottom. I don't know whether Hillside's on municipal water now or not, but it wasn't then. It was on the west. Had a well down there, and make a long story short, the line got plugged, and we were just getting a little trickle of water. This was about 5 o'clock or maybe 4:30. Church is at 6. We got these people going to have a good crowd. There's a new conference going to be baptized. What are we going to do here? So I not sat down at my desk and was waiting for some kind of inspiration to come along. And I said, I'm going to call the fire department. So I did. I called the Coal Harbor Fire Department down here, and the old boy answered the phone. And I explained my predicament. He said, you wouldn't have to have a tank truck full of water down there, would you? He said, yes, I do. I said, can you help me? He said, I'll hurry up, Reverend. And up he came, and I must have communicated more panic to him than I intended. Here he comes, siren, red light. He comes rolling up here at the door, just right upstairs. I'm standing in the lobby. He comes in with a hose in his hand. Says, where do you need it, Reverend? Right up there. He went up there and pumped her full. And when he was all done, I told him how much I preached. I said, how much I owe you? He said, you don't owe me a cent. I can't wait to go home and tell the wife. And he was off and gone. But I'll tell you, that water had been in the back of that truck for some while. There were life forms of various things coming or going in that water. What the deal was. But hey, I didn't care. I'm going to stand in it. These newcomers going to have their head stuck under there. This worked out good. I did tell them in case they wanted to bow out. It all worked out good. Now, no other tough days. Of course, there were tough days. But God honored us in many, many ways. I remember this was not a tough day. This was a great day. I remember the day the Mansfelds showed up here. 11 people all at once. How wonderful is that? It jumps your attendance like 30%. Say, don't ever miss a Sunday. It will kill us. I remember that, how wonderful addition that was. I remember we went downstairs for 1 year. Down there before this was finished up here, or for a while. I don't know how long, but for a while. And so the only way to come to church is to be in the downstairs, right? If you come down, well, Sunday school's on, you end up standing in the hallway down there. Not very user-friendly. I'm down there one Sunday, walking through there, and there stood Gary and Connie Campbell and Roger and Betty Long. I'd never seen them before. I didn't know them from far out west. And there they stood in the hallway of all places, in kind of an uninviting environment. And I welcomed them and thought to myself, they're never going to be back here again. I mean, if you go to a place you've never been to before, they don't even have a building, you end up down the hallway, standing like the hired help or something. And except for Connie, of course, who's gone from us, they're all still here now. It's a wonderful day. And there's so many of those kind of memories. One other before I get on to something else I remember. There was a couple at the church here for a while named Don and Donna Anderson. Some of you might remember those. He was a lieutenant commander in the U.S. Air Force. And he was here on deployment on a shared deal with NATO or something. And they showed up at church. You know, this military bearing Charlotte family. So I went to visit them, of course. Right? You go to visit them. And you want to answer their questions properly. Because you want them to come back. I mean, you know, let's admit it. So we're sitting having this nice conversation. And he looked at me with this military look and said, do you expect people who go to your church to tie their income and put it in the offering plate? What's the right answer to that when you're trying to impress somebody new? So I kind of, it's the truth was, yeah, we didn't want to do that. And that's the cold hard truth. So I kind of swallowed my Adam's apple a couple of times and tried it and said, as a matter of fact, yes, we